I have done so many videos on Ozempic. Make sure you guys check those out. But this time we are going to hear from the diet culture queen herself, Is Jillian Michaels, and what she had to say about it. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is Kendra Creates. This is where I share my weight loss journey with you. Hopefully I can help you out along the way if you're on a weight loss journey. Also, I do commentary on a variety of topics, including health, wellness, fitness, weight loss, anything you send to me. So send me stuff. Hopefully I can help you out along the way if you're on a weight loss journey. Also, you'll learn about me along the way. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. All right, guys. So this is what happened. I was scrolling through something and I happened upon a video. And I'm not gonna lie, the title, it just reeled me in. The title was Jillian Michaels weighs in on Ozempic, obesity, and no regrets. So I was like, okay, I got to check this out. Now, I know all of y'all know who Jillian Michaels is. If you don't know, she was a trainer on the old school weight loss reality show, The Biggest Loser. She was known for yelling at people, telling people crazy stuff, how like she'll be happy if they died or threw up or passed out or whatever as they were exercising, and just giving me bad vibes, you know?
I don't care if you both die on this floor. You better die looking good. Let's go. Back. That's a bummer. Guess what else is gonna hurt? Everything!
Even now, she's always talking about health and wellness and all that stuff, saying you gotta eat organic and blah, 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 blah.
Remember, farmed fish, especially things like salmon, there are some things that are okay farmed, but a lot of it has food dye and a bunch of garbage. Like, read about it. Look up wild salmon versus farmed salmon and you're gonna learn a lot. My seafood, I try to get that wild salmon in. I try to get that grass-fed, grass-finished beef. I get cage-free organic eggs. Like I said, I don't eat overly processed foods. And when I do, like, there's an organic Cheeto. I'm not getting paid for this. It's called Luke's Lightning Bolts. I love it. I'm sure it's not healthy, but it doesn't have a ton of chemicals in it. And eat quality. Try to avoid the refined sugars and processed grains and all that crap.
So I was curious to know what she thought about all of this stuff. It popped up, it's on a website called E-News, and she was showing off like some fitness equipment or something that she's selling, I believe so. And so there's a lady there who's kind of like in the middle of doing these fitness routines or whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. She kind of like asks her some questions. So we're going to get into this little interview. I guess it's an interview. I don't know what it is. Like an infomercial. And I am going to give my opinion.
You hate a fad. You hate a fad. So tell me, what are the no-goes? What are the ones that you really don't even need to entertain?
What I would avoid at all costs, and people are gonna say, if you are struggling with morbid obesity, it becomes like a whole different animal. There's a huge psychological component of feeling helpless, and now people are being told that they're totally out of control, that it's all genetics, which is 100% untrue, but it's a separate conversation. The key is to empower those people to make a change. I don't judge the way they do it, but I would avoid, if at all possible, surgeries where we're removing parts of organs because it's permanent. And what does it end up allowing you to do? Eating less. Okay. Things like diabetes drugs, especially if you don't have diabetes, type 2 diabetes. These things have serious side effects. And what do? They take away your weight.
Yeah.
What do? Oh, wait, hold on. You eat less food.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's break this down because I got some words. So the interviewer asked her, like, what fads would you avoid? Like, I guess in the health and wellness space or whatever. And the first thing that Jillian Michaels goes to is not fads. They are FDA approved treatments for obesity. They are not fads. Weight loss surgery is not a fad. Diabetes drugs, I'm going to go with the GLP-1 drugs like Saxenda or Wegovy that are specifically marketed for weight loss, are not fads. They are proven, they have been studied, and they have been a resolution to obesity for many people. Yes, you should explore other routes before you try these two things. Before I started Saxenda, I lost a large amount of weight. I was in a plateau for several months. I was hungry like you just don't know. And I just felt I wasn't improving my situation. I went to an obesity specialist, and because I spoke with a doctor who is well trained in this area with my medical history, they decided that this was the best course of action for me. And I feel like a lot of people do not see it as the best course of action for some people. They just automatically go to, you need to eat less. You see how she alluded to that? Because basically she said weight loss surgery makes you eat less, and the GLP-1 drugs make you eat less. I see what she did there. And, you know, I didn't like it. And I didn't like when the lady asked her what fads to avoid. Those were the first two things that she popped up with. And neither one of these are fads because they are FDA approved. They have been studied and they have been proven to work. Now, do these things come with risks? Of course they do. You should be well versed in those risks from your medical provider as well as your own research into those. You have to weigh the risks against the risks of remaining obese. And if the risks of remaining obese outweigh this treatment, along with the information from your medical professional, then you probably should pursue that course of treatment. I just feel like it's just getting a bad rap.
And now I get how hard it is to eat less food.
Okay.
I understand that.
It's very hard.
But that's where we circle back to the why are we doing this? Why are we making the sacrifice? Putting it in perspective. Work with purpose becomes passion. Work without purpose feels punishing. Having that why to hold on to. There are a host of other crutches, right? Like a support community, a fitness app, if you have the money, a personal trainer to keep you accountable, a diet coach.
I really think she just simplified the whole eating less thing. She did state that it was hard to eat less food, which it is, especially if you're hungry. And from the research and the readings that I've done, there are certain people who have certain triggers in their brain that makes it a lot more difficult to eat less because they are hungrier. They get hungrier. They have signals that are in their brain firing and telling them to eat. So it's kind of hard to go against a signal in your brain. I digress, but those are the facts. So it's hard to eat less, but I think she downplays how hard it is for some people. Some people, it is extremely difficult because of what's going on up here. Not only that, but because of EDs like BED, and also because of trauma they may have faced and everything. And so she talks about other ways that you can, I guess, curb your appetite. I guess that's what she's trying to say. Like, you need to eat less. Holding on to your why, which sounds kind of like motivational speaker type of BS. Don't nobody want to hear that. And then she talks about other resources that people can use, such as a support community, fitness app, personal trainer, diet coach. Those are great resources. I'm not going to say they aren't. But when you're hungry, those things are not going to help. When you are actually hungry, and I know it gets tough along the way, and honestly, that's why I am making the switch over from Saxenda to Wegovy, because I feel like I need more to control my hunger, but we'll see how all that goes. But I think she just kind of downplays people eating less, you know. I think she thinks that it's just a lot of overeating, but not necessarily addressing the struggle with like actual hunger. It's really hard.
If you're struggling with obesity, the bottom line is, whether you realize it or not, you are overeating. And it could be that, yes, you don't get to eat as much as the person with a super fast metabolism, but I don't have a super fast metabolism. My father was overweight. I was overweight as a kid, and I can still control the expression of my genetics. So this is where counseling, if you're there,
Yeah.
right? You're dealing with 100 pounds overweight and you're feeling like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Because it really is, all of these things, these hacks just make you eat less. So maybe we could get into your head and find out why it's so hard. I'd rather people do that instead of, by the way, things like Ozempic are $900 a month.
There we go. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
That's 4 sessions with a therapist right there. Just 1 a week, just to be clear, right? That surgery is not cheap. So when we turn to these dramatic things, I'd much rather we explore it mentally first.
I do agree with her when she said, you should go to counseling or you should work on your mental state first. I am not going to disagree with that. I feel like that's where things start at. If you are not in the proper mindset, if you have not addressed your traumatic issues, your emotional eating, your BED, things like that, then you probably aren't going to go too far, even if you do weight loss medications or if you do weight loss surgery. It is going to be nothing but an uphill battle if you do not have those mental issues addressed first. And that's like ongoing. But I kind of didn't like how she referred to them as hacks. And those things are not hacks. I think a hack would be like a lower calorie food swap or something like that. Like, surgery is serious. Medications are serious. Like, they're not hacks. But then she refers to them as drastic things, which I think, like I said, you should explore other avenues first. Before you try these, you should definitely be implementing healthier habits, because we know that a reduced calorie diet is necessary to be successful, even with these methods. But some people, they just have not found that success with traditional means. And you know what? That's okay. And if you have a medical professional that is on board with you, they've reviewed your health history, they think this will be a good course of action and treatment plan for you, and you're down with it, then why not? And then you also see how she tried to empathize with her audience in the beginning. Like, I don't have a super fast metabolism. I was overweight as a teen. My father was overweight, and I just beat that obesity in the butt. Good for you, but that is not what people want to hear. Like, everybody just can't do it like that. And then she, makes it a sad state of affairs when she says Ozempic is like $900. Well, I'm going to tell you this. There are other ways that you can get the medication if you need to. And then she talks about how expensive weight loss surgery is. There are different avenues that you can explore with that as well. If you have insurance, a lot of insurance, they do cover Saxenda or Wegovy for weight loss. My insurance covers both of them. I was paying $25 a month for my Saxenda, and now I will be paying $0 a month for my Wegovy. And if your insurance does not cover it, there are other avenues. People order Saxenda from Canada for around like $500. People go to get the compounded version. There has been a debate about the compounded version. I don't know. I don't have a dog in that fight, okay? And with weight loss surgery, most insurances are covering weight loss surgery these days. Like, it's pretty standard. Like, even if they're not covering these weight loss drugs, they're covering weight loss surgery. And I've heard people say that, like, oh, my insurance will cover weight loss surgery, but they won't cover these drugs. And then people are still going out of the country doing medical tourism. I know that gets a bad rap as well, but people need to address their ethnocentrism before they talk about, going to other countries for procedures. Because these people are doctors, they're well trained. You just have to do your research and you have to find out what would be a course of action for you. You also have to be proactive in finding out how you're going to get follow-up care and if you do have any type of complications afterwards. Because even people in your home country, surgeons, can do botched jobs, or they can mess up, or you can have complications just because your body is weird or whatever. That can happen anywhere, in any country. So everybody, Jillian Michaels is not like you, and it's okay if they explore other weight loss options.
Well, I'm glad that you hit on the notion of obesity because, you know, that is running rampant in our country, and you seem to be very passionate and very concerned on it. In fact, I know that, you know, you've made statements about it in the past, and you have faced a backlash ultimately.
It's crazy.
Talking about it.
I know.
Why do you say it's crazy?
Because here's the thing. There's a narrative in this country across pretty much every single category in the world, right? But when the narrative denies fact, when it denies science, that's when we have to really, it's like, okay, now this is not true. And what's happened is that people who are overweight have been marginalized for decades. It's the truth. With that said, you've got, you know, the counter movement to that now becomes like, no, girl, you're good. And it's like, would you say that to a friend who smoked a pack a day? Would you say it to a friend who drank too much, who dated a guy who's abusive and just wasn't that into her? You'd be like, babe, you can beat this thing. This is where it's bad for you, right? This is where it's greatly compromising the quality of your life, and you can get through this. You're stronger than this. Yet, you know, the narrative is like, no. It's all perfect. And then you even have a crazier conversation of healthy at any size, which is not true. So we know it's not true. I could go through all the science with you, but let me also preface by saying, you can be unhealthy at any size.
Oh, yeah.
You can be this big and have heart disease and diabetes and high percentage of body fat. You're just smaller.
Starving yourself. Some people too.
Eat
All types of things.
All types of things.
Yeah.
But when people have felt marginalized for so long, now you've got this kind of narrative of like, we're not going to talk about it. It's a third rail conversation. But it's doing people a massive disservice. There's a whole conversation around it, but the reality is, I just want people to have the best quality of life.
Okay, so that last clip, that was strictly for fat acceptance, folks. And I feel like she kind of, you know what? I don't think I have anything bad to say about this last clip, because she started talking about how people are denying science and people are denying true fact. And that is one thing we know that fat acceptance does. They act like weight has no bearing on your health at all in any circumstances, in which we know it's true. Of course, you can live an unscathed life at 200 pounds, but you can also be suffering from debilitating conditions at 200 pounds. It varies person to person. And as you get older, you will probably start to have a little bit of issues. And then she said that overweight people have been marginalized, and we know this. I mean, you know, I was teased severely, and, you know, growing up, and, you know, of course, people look at you and say things, and, you know, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm not saying it's like other types of discrimination, fat acceptance, my eye is on you, but it's hasn't been necessarily a walk in the park all my life, you know, being obese. And then she talks about basically health at any size is health at every size is BS, because we know that is not true. We see that from watching My 600-Pound Life. And then she talks about you can be unhealthy at any size, which that was spot on, because we see that with people who are suffering from EDs. They are very unhealthy, but they're also thin. And then we know on the other spectrum that unhealthiness is true as well. So I appreciated how she ended it. Those were like the most important clips that kind of stuck out to me. Basically, she's like selling some fitness equipment or something like that. But I just wanted to see what Jillian Michaels had to say about Ozempic and all of that. And it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. She pretty much like said, you know, don't do it. She pretty much said, don't do it. She tried to make it seem like, oh, it's a last resort or whatever. But she's pretty much against that, as you can tell. Because she's one of the people that believes like just eat less, move more. She's the diet culture queen, and she got that title for a reason. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you did, make sure you like this video. Also, check and see, are you subscribed to my channel? Make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I will be bringing you more commentary content like this. So make sure you continue to spread kindness in a world full of hate. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.